You've got the listing, the photos are stunning, the price is right, and then the showing feedback comes in. The home felt lived in. It's hard to picture ourselves there. That's not a market problem, that's a maintenance problem, and it is one that's quietly killing your days on the market. Most agents neglect to educate their sellers on this really important reality. The condition of a home between showings matters just as much as the condition it was in for photos. That's what this channel is built on. The prep work, the hard conversations, and the systems that actually move listings faster. Build your brand and get clients who will call you back. Because here's the thing, living in a listed home is genuinely hard. For the seller, it feels like being a guest in their own house every single day. But there's a surprisingly simple approach that makes living in a listed home manageable, even for families, even with pets, even with zero time. Most agents front load all of their energy for the pre-prep and quietly cross their fingers, hoping that the seller holds it together from there. Well, that's a strategy built on hope, not process. Buyers don't give 24-hour notice. They just show up and they form an emotional impression in the first 90 seconds. Dirty dishes, laundry on the floor, personal clutter everywhere. Those things just aren't untidy. They're telling a buyer that the seller isn't really moving. When the buyer senses that, the emotional connection is lost. They stop imagining their life in the home and they start calculating the problems. Think of it this way. The seller is literally paying themselves to keep the home show ready. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars sitting on the table every single morning they leave the house a mess. Doesn't that alone make it worth having the conversation with every seller about keeping the home show ready every single day? Here's the tension. Knowing it matters and actually doing it every morning are two completely different things, especially when our life doesn't slow down just because the home is listed. The reason most sellers can't maintain show-ready condition isn't laziness, it's that nobody gave them a system that actually works in real life. Here's the approach that I have used personally and handed to sellers for years. One laundry basket per room. Before you leave in the morning, make the beds, do a quick tidy, and everything that doesn't belong in the show-ready version of that room goes in the basket. Pre-decide where those baskets go every single day, under the bed, neatly in the closet, even in the garage. Determining the destination beforehand matters because it removes the decision-making in the moment. So here's the rule of thumb. If it wasn't in the listing photos when the home was at its absolute best, it goes in the basket. That's it. That's the whole system. When the seller comes home that evening, everything is exactly where they left it, in the basket for that room. No hunting, no stress, and no chaos. For families with kids, this is the part that actually makes it sustainable. Kids can get out whatever they want. They just know the rule. It goes back in the basket or it gets put away by morning. I had 4 kids at home when we were moving multiple times, and I can tell you firsthand, this was the only approach that kept me sane and kept the house ready. Before we get into exactly how to position the system with your sellers and the conversations that you can have with them that actually makes them follow through, grab my top 5 tough home prep conversations guide. The link is below. These are the exact scripts agents dread having, and knowing what to say before you're in the room changes everything. Let's get into how to introduce this system to your Let's get into how to introduce the system to your seller effectively. Handing a seller a prep checklist without context is how you become the agent they stop listening to after week 2. The way that you frame the system during your conversation before the home goes live sets whether they treat it like a chore or like a strategy. You want to lead with the financial angle first, not the aesthetic one. When sellers understand that show-ready condition is directly connected to their net proceeds and their time on the market, the motivation shifts. Explain it this way. You are paying yourself every morning that you leave this house ready for buyers. That's not an exaggeration. It could be the difference between receiving an asking price offer and an offer $20,000 to $30,000 below it. Then introduce the basket system as the logistics, how they actually do it without it running their lives. Anchor it to their photography. If it wasn't in your listing photos, it goes in the basket. That gives them a visual benchmark they've already approved. Sellers who feel like they have a doable system follow through. Sellers who feel overwhelmed ignore you by week 3. And that's when the days on the market start climbing. Having a system is one thing. What separates agents who actually gets results from it is knowing when the conversation needs to happen and having the confidence to have it. Resetting the seller's mindset is what will cause them to be committed to this daily and necessary process. Here's the reframe that changes everything for sellers who think buyers are just going to understand that someone lives there, and it's okay if the show readiness isn't maintained during the listing. Actually, yes. Buyers know someone lives there, and that's exactly the problem. When a buyer walks through a home and sees evidence of someone else's daily life, their stuff, their habits, their mess, they cannot picture their own life there. The emotional connection that drives strong offers literally cannot form. The standard to aim for isn't clean enough, it's closer to an Airbnb on check-in day. The buyer should feel like a welcome guest in a space that has been prepared specifically for them. That feeling, being a guest who might want to stay, that's what turns a showing into an offer. Sellers who resist this usually say, I don't want to live like a hotel guest in my own home. And I get that, but here's what I tell them. You're not doing this forever. You're doing this for 30 to 60 days. And those 30 to 60 days are worth it. And the more uncomfortable you are living in your listed home, the more profitable and faster your home sale will be. The sellers who buy into this shifted mindset, well, their homes sell faster, their stress goes down, and they refer everyone they know because the process actually works. If this is resonating with you, subscribe. Every week, I'm bringing real systems like this one, the kind you can hand directly to the seller or walk into a listing appointment with on day one. So lean in here and hear me loud and clear on this one. The difference between a listing that sells in 2 weeks and one that sits for 90 days is rarely the price. It's almost always the condition between showings and whether the agent gave the seller something they could actually execute. The basket system is small. It's almost embarrassingly simple, but that's the point. The best systems don't require willpower. They remove decisions. Sellers who use this show up differently. They're more confident, they're more cooperative, and they close faster. And agents who hand their clients systems like these, those are the agents who get calls from past clients and their friends and families for the next listing. That's what building a referral business actually looks like. Not luck, not a perfect market, but a process. Keeping a home show ready is important, but it won't fix a listing that launched before it was truly ready. Click the video on screen and I'll show you 3 questions every agent should ask to stop sabotaging their listings before they ever hit the market.